Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasharallah that rule well. And salutations to you, brethren, out there pushing out this word in truth and in sincerity. And, basically, this is a response video to the YouTuber who goes by the name of Mr. Obvious. And basically he was saying that because there's a new Netflix show, and it has to do with Greek history. But contrary to how shows are usually made with whitewashing, this show is going to be played by Jake's Israelites. So certain key figures in Greek history, he's gonna play what's his name? Achilles, I think.
Achilles, yes.
He's gonna play Achilles. So now he's he has fooled everybody. So now everybody in the world thinks that as soon as they think about a Greek, they think of a so-called white man. So we're basically gonna cut that, because back in the day, back in the Greek times, you had Israelites there, and the majority of the times when you had people like Achilles or great men with great history, and just honorable stories, for the most part they were Jake, because what does it say? One should be greater than the other, But we're gonna start off basically, to let you guys know that we were amongst them, we were calling ourselves Greeks just like they were, which we're not Greeks, us nor them, The real Greeks who could actually say they're the real Greeks is it goes back to the Etruscans, which are the tribe of Japhet. Those are the real Greeks. So hey Esau, Mr. Obvious, you can't you can't say that they're trying to take our history, because that wasn't your history in the first place. That whole name wasn't yours, Somebody can get first Maccabees.
Where's what?
It's about 10:36.
One. Wait. But I'll start at 1 and 11.
First Maccabees 1 and 11.
Exactly. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are around about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow." Right,
and right there, who was the majority of the heathen? It was the Greeks. It was by that time it was Edomites. They had already taken over the Etruscans, basically taken over the Japhetites that were dwelling in that land, So here it is, our people, the Israelites, that consist of the so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes. They're saying, let's make a covenant, basically an agreement. Go ahead.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so bored herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
And so that was our people, basically taking on their customs, everything that the Greeks were doing, our people did it. You know, to the point where they casted out their own ways. You know, their true heritage. You know, and now if a brother could get a 2 Maccabees 4 and 9.
This is the...
You know, because this is where it started. This is how Jake got in the midst of the Greeks, the Edomites that call themselves Greeks. This is where Jake really blew up, you know, in there, you know. And a lot of times, like we were saying in the beginning, a lot of times those men with great stories were Jake. They were Israelites. They weren't white people. But hey, Esau, being the devil that he is, he takes those stories of those great men and he always proclaims to be those guys. You know, give me an example. Who does he claim to be?
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who else? King James.
Shai.
There you go. That's a big one. Yahweh Shai, who you people you call Jesus.
Mm-hmm. I got a precept to back you up. This is Job 9 and 24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?"
Yeah, that's right. And you know, and that's Esau. That's why all these people are outraged, because they all believe Esau's lies. You know, so now they don't know the truth. So now they're saying, "Oh, they're stealing our history and all that." Come on, man. Out of all people, hey, you white people should be the last one to be talking about stealing somebody's heritage. You know. You got that?
Okay. Yes, the second book of Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 9. "Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise, and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen."
The training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen. You know, so as soon as they were born, they were already telling them to celebrate this, celebrate that. You know, it's okay to do this. You know, it's okay to do that. You know, call yourself this. You know.
God, and the one thing to teach them at a younger age is so when they get old, they already think that this is their custom, so they finna teach their next generation the same thing, and all it's just gonna be an ongoing. It's like, oh, this is our heritage, when really it's a false heritage that's not really theirs. You know, that's actually a silent way to kill a nation off, man. You know, that's why I said in Psalms 83 that they wanted to cut the nation of Israel off from being a nation, man. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the ways, teaching them false doctrine and have them believe that this was the way of their life, man. This is how the way that they were supposed to go.
To write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus.
Right, so they weren't calling themselves Israelites no more. No, we're not Israelites. We're Antiochians. Hey, where you from? Oh, I'm an Antiochian. You know. And hey, they didn't stop there. You know. They didn't just call themselves Antiochians. Hey, through time it got worse. And then they started calling themselves from other lands. Or now I'm a Macedonian from here and this. I'm this and that from that place. You know. I'm a Greek, you know. It got to the point where Jake just started calling themselves Greek, just like today. Before we came into the truth, what were we calling ourselves? Mexican, Black, American, you know.
Yeah, that was just the curse, though.
Yeah,
the Lord said in Deuteronomy 28:37, you got it.
Yeah, here you go.
This is it's at the bottom. Verse 37. Okay. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37. It says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations where the Lord shall lead thee." Right, so we was going to be called names besides our our real names, man. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't going to be called by none of the 12 tribes of Israel anymore. We was going to be called Black, Latino, Mexican, you know what I'm saying, Hispanic, you know, wetbacks, redskins, this, that, and the other, because that was cutting us off from who we were, man, you know?
Hey, and us being cut off, we were also taking in those other customs of whatever nation's land we were dwelling on, you know?
You still in that Deuteronomy, bro?
Sure.
Can you go to verse 64?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. It says, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right, so with us being scattered and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, brother, bringing out the Thessalonians, the Greeks, the Colossians, you know what I'm saying? Whatever lands that we were scattered into, we took on the name of the land that we was living. We keep on.
Then it says, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so then that's when we started learning the customs of the different lands that we was in, man. You know what I'm saying? Following the ways of the heathen, which the Lord said not to do, you know? Because that was us falling away, man. You know?
Going back to the second book of Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 10 now. Which, when the king had granted, and he had gotten into the hand of Zalaga, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
To the what?
Greekish fashion.
To the Greekish fashion. You know? So hey, so now we were dressing like them, getting tattoos, lineups, eating their abominable foods, you know, and actually calling ourselves that, you know.
Yep.
Hey, so hey, there you go. That's history of our people. So-called Latinos, Negroes, Native Americans, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, taking on that heritage of the Greeks.
Yep.
You know, so we were amongst those Greeks. You know, and a lot of those people, those famous people, were us. You know.
Come. I got a precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. It says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. You know, and that's going into the whole process of us coming into these other ways and these other customs was all a part of us falling from our heritage that the Lord gave us. Why? Because we disobeyed the law, statutes, and commandments, and we chose to be like the heathen round about us. So we took up their customs. All right, we took up their names, their heritage, and we fell away from ours. And that's why the Lord said, "You shall discontinue from your heritage that I gave you." Why? Because we chose to disobey the Heavenly Father. All right, and we chose to do wickedness and do the basis of things in His eyes, man. We chose to be like the heathen nations that He set us above, you know, because like the brother said, the Greeks were originally go back to the Etruscans, was descended from the Japhet, you know. So we started which in the beginning it tells you that the seed and the blessing, it was always going through Shem, man. All right, down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when we chose to go into that land and act as if we were Greeks, we were following something that wasn't even supposed to be pertaining to us, man. All right, and then it goes for you so-called white people too, because you do it the most. All right, you really run from your heritage. You know why? Because in the scriptures it says that you Edomites are prophesied to get the most terrible destruction and judgment on the planet, man. You know, and that's why you run from your history. And you try to proclaim and you try to proclaim everybody else's. You
Right.
do exactly. You know?
The white man has the worst history ever. Because it's all about what? Murder, robbery, rape, deceit. You know, every single person the white man so-called glorifies and you know, through history, and they say they were righteous and they were honorable. That wasn't a white man. That was an Israelite. Because a white man is not gonna do that. You know, a white man is a white man has no integrity. Hey, just look at the kings in those times, and Epiphanies, Antiochus Epiphanes. He did some abominable ass works. You know, Ptolemy and all those other Edomites.
Solutions.
You know, Nero.
Yep.
You know, all of them did some crazy bug that ass shit.
King Herod.
You know. Hey, but hey, like you said, he sees someone do something great. Through time, he'll put his name there. He'll whitewash it and say, "Oh no, that was my people. We did that." You know.
Yep. It's Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee." And that word treacherously means to deal deceitfully, man. You know what I'm saying? Claiming to be somebody else, because according to Micah 2 and 2, it says you oppress man's heritage. That's what you're doing. But not only do you oppress the nation of Israel's heritage, you also oppress everybody else, man. You claim to be the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? You know, you claim to be every other nation, man. You know, because like the brother was saying, you run away from who you really are. You know, and the only time you actually claim who you really are is when they go back to Alexander the Greek, man. You know,
Yeah, that's
only time.
you know. Even then, that nigga was fucking up, bugged out. You know.
Yeah, this is Romans chapter 9, verse 21. It says, "Hath not the potter power over the clay, of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor, and another unto dishonor? What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath, and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction?" And that's this is going into the fact, this is you Edomites, or you so-called white people, you descend and are the children and are prophesied to be fit for destruction. You are that vessel of dishonor. All right, that's the whole vibration you push out onto the earth. All right, and you can tell that this is true and evident for the simple fact that you hide history and you proclaim that you're these other nations while downing other people when they actually have their ancestry and their lineage actually fit though that history, man, as being that vessel of honor, man. And that's the Israelites, man. That's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's our history. Though some of our people and some of our kings were wicked, most of the time the Lord always, it says in the scriptures, the Lord always dealt with Israel, man, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So if they were Greeks, the brother said they were doing honorable things while they were proclaiming to be Greeks. And Lacedaemonians, man. These are all Israelites, man.
Lacedaemonians, which is the Spartans.
Yep.
The 300.
Oh, don't let us say that. They gonna be like, nah, we was Spartan. They can't accept the fact that we're better people than them and have a better history than them, man.
Hey, that's why the scripture says that they got a perpetual hatred, man. They're gonna do all manner of things, you know what I'm saying, just so they can figure and feel like in their own mind that they have some type of advantage over us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep. It's fucked up, man. Because Esau's the one that mainly does that, and now you wanna say that we're the ones who saying that we're this and we're that and that we're everybody. You know, we don't go around saying that. We go around speaking facts. We go around and telling you that
For example, that Achilles, that Achilles was the Israelite. You know, we go around saying that what are the kings?
The Centurion, that he was a J too.
Talk about Cornelius.
Yeah.
Josephus. You know,
And Josephus.
Josephus being Cornelius too. You know, those were our nation. And how do we know that? Through the Spirit. How they carry themselves, what they did. You know, because through the Spirit we know the spirit of a white man, we know the spirit of an Israelite. Even if the Israelite is going off, we know, oh yeah, that was the Israelite, he was just going off. You know, we know that. You know, we're not going around saying that we're Egyptians. You know, we'll tell you the truth. Hey, the Egyptians is another set of dark-skinned people, which are the Hamites. You know, we just tell you the truth, and the truth is what did the Lord say? I have set you above all people.
Yep.
The truth, that's the truth, that we're better than everybody, and most of this great history that you hear and see, it was a Jake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
Yep.
that perpetual hatred, like the brother said, man, they can't accept it. You know, like EJ loves bitch head. What do you say? You're not the Israelite, and the brother's like, then who is? Not you guys.
Yep.
It's like, damn, man. Like,
We can't be nothing, man. We can't. All we are is some niggas to these people.
Nah,
man.
we can't even be the niggas, because
Yeah.
y'all want to be the niggas.
Yeah, exactly, man. Man, make up your mind, man. That's why the Lord is just gonna destroy you, man, because it's getting out of hand, man. The white man, you portray yourself as every single body, man, except for Esau, of course. You know, you dig up information on Esau now. You know, like the Elder Malcolm, he has the book, Who is Esau Edom? All right, you made that book $3,000, man, and it used to be like less than $20, man. Why is that, man? See, through the Spirit, we perceive stuff, man. That you know that your history is being put on the table, man. All right, it's being put on the table of judgment, man, for the Most High, man. All the wicked deeds, you know, and now you're just trying to hide behind actual great men that we had in our past times, such as men among the Greeks that you proclaim to be, man. Those are Israelites, man. That's why the scriptures just said, as I read, it says the Lord created vessels of dishonor and vessels of honor, man. And you were created as the vessel of dishonor, man. That vessel fitted for destruction. All right, because all your ways, they only lead to destruction, man. If you can look at the earth, you know, you can look at the earth and see who's ruling that, you know. And another thing, you say that for the concept of you not getting that Israelites were Greeks, man. We're Israelites, right? But didn't we used to call ourselves Americans? You know, it's the same thing, man. It's a simple concept to grasp, man.
hey, it's the same thing. Just like in today's army.
Yep.
You have Jakes, you have Edomites. You know, back in the Roman army and the Greek army, you had the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You had Jakes, you had Edomites, and other nations in the midst. You know, it wasn't just all white people. You know, you had Jakes in there, and we just gave you the history of how Jakes got up in there, how Jakes actually got started calling themselves Greek and got it into that whole vibration. You know.
I got something.
You know, we gave you the whole rundown. You know, and through time, what did Jake do? Hey, just like today, after slavery, Jake started slowly moving up.
Yeah.
Now you have Jake in the White House. You know, it's the same thing back in the Greek time. You know, as soon as Jake started getting into that, and as soon as Jake started growing, then Jake went from soldiers to commanders and so on and so forth. You know, and then for example, like the Holy Roman Empire. Before the pagan Roman Empire was ruled by who? So-called Edomites, white people. Then the Holy Roman Empire came, and it was ruled by the holy people. You know, which were the Israelites. You know, so that's proof that, you know, some of those kings, those great warriors, you know, that these people would like to make movies about was us. You know, it wasn't you Edomites, you white people. You know, go ahead.
This you know, like the brother was talking about how it was James that was in the army. This First Maccabees chapter 10 and I'm sorry, verse 36. It says, "Now this was King Demetrius, a Greek king." He says, because this was during the time when you had Alexander, you know what I'm saying, son of Antiochus Epiphanes, you know what I'm saying. You had Jonathan was pretty much being bargained between the Romans and between Alexander the Greek from the Ptolemy dynasty and King Demetrius, and this this First Maccabees chapter 10 verse 36. It says, "I refer to that there be enrolled among the king's forces about 30,000 men of the Jews, who unto whom pay shall be given as belonging to all the king's forces." You know what I'm saying? So you had Israelites that was in all these heathen customs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in these heathen armies, man. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, we the salt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? According to the scriptures, we do better than you all, man. You know what I'm saying? And you all knew that. You know, I forget what war it was, but I want to say it's like, you know, World War I or World War II. You know what I'm saying? When it was promised that Jakes would be let out of slavery if they entered into the army. And who was the first ones on the first lines? The Jakes, man. The Jews. You know what I'm saying? While the Edomites stayed back, man. You know?
There you go.
And another precept.
Go ahead.
Going into how Esau Edom is just a straight liar. You know what I'm saying? This is Ecclesiastes or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 7, verse 12. It says, "Devise not a lie against thy brother, neither do the like to thy friend." You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to come up with lies, man, against thy brother. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? You even do it against your own people, man. You know what I'm saying? Verse 13, it says, use not to make any manner of lie, for the custom thereof is not good. You know what I'm saying? But you consist of this good. Consist of this the mannerism of lying, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like the brother said, you know, you are the son of perdition, man. You know what I'm saying? Vessels of destruction. That's what you are. That's your nature. You know what I'm saying? You can't do anything about it, man. You're just wicked. That's why the scriptures talk about how there's sons of wicked, sons of men, and sons of God, man. But you the son of the wicked, man. You know? And that is your nature. You can't do anything else about it. You know?
Yeah, precept. Bring it out. And going on to how the brother was saying, man, you know, these Edomites, man, they don't whitewash history, man. You know, making it look like these mighty men in history were white, man. You know, but let the scriptures speak for itself. It's the first book of Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48, and laid open the book of the law. You know, when it's talking about the scriptures, the book of the law is the scriptures, man, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image. Hey, so wait, these heathens, man, you might say, opened up this book, man, and seen that Yahushua was a fellow called Negro, man. Hey, you know what they did, man? Hey, they whitewashed history, man. You know, they made them look white and stuff. Made the angels look white, little white babies and diapers and shit in the heavens, man. You know, that's what these Edomites had done, man.
Right, and this is the scriptures. So how much more things of less importance, you know? Come on, man. I got one right quick. is Micah 2:2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You know, and as you so-called white people, you know, you can't be satisfied with anything. You rob a nation, and then once you're done robbing them, now you rob their whole heritage. You know, you rob their spirit, everything. You know.
Hey, the scripture says, the scripture says that when you born, you come out speaking lies. You know what I'm saying? So when you're born, you know, the first thing you're doing is lying. You know what I'm saying? You know. So I'm just right here, you know. Even in Ezekiel the 28th chapter, man, you know, you pronounce yourself to be God yourself, man. You know, you're a straight blasphemer, man. You know, you lie 24/7. That's all you can do, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, all your enterprises is all about distractions. You know what I'm saying? Distracting people with the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why you put up your images upon the real lawmakers and the real Jews, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to distract the people from the truth. You know.
You don't want to be caught. You don't want to be known as an Edomite. That's ultimately what it is. You know, running away from your true self. You know, so you go on and do all this badness, and once we actually try to take it back, you know, here it is like, oh hey, no, actually, you know what, that's ours. Can now you're like, what? This was never yours. It was always mine. This has always been mine. Like what? You know, why do you think they knocked off the noses of a lot of relics, a lot of statues? You know, because it showed that black people used to rule. You know, hey, but since our nation's noses and lips aren't the same as the white man, you know, he couldn't just paint it white. He had to knock up the nose. He had to thin those lips up, you know, and made it white. You know.
You got a lot of Edomites, man. They be proud. You see it on World Star Hip Hop. They be sitting there lashing out, talking about go back to Africa, this, that, and the other. Hey, first of all, you know what I'm saying? Who was over here in the first place, man? You know what I'm saying? It was the Native Americans, man. You know what I'm saying? And the Israelites and the Ephraimites and the Reubenites, man. You know what I'm saying? They was over here first. But what do? You grabbed them up and took them over east, man. You know what I'm saying? You know. So when you say you know you just go up to a regular person that got melanin in their skin and stuff, but hey, guess what? You really do that to but just ones that got dark complexion, but he was over here first. You know what I'm saying? You know. You try to call us redskins and stuff, but no, we just got a beautiful ruddy color, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all that is.
Yep. Being transparent. And then you guys are gonna deal. Just close it out.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say, that basically just goes back to the fact that our people were given a blessing, man. And ultimately, you know this, man. You know that we were given the blessing to be a better people than you, man. And that's why you try to hide our royal and our powerful history, man. Because you know that was us, man. It was nobody else. It wasn't you, and it wasn't the heathens. All right. So and if you look on the planet, the constant different sides of the spectrum as far as rulership on the planet has always been between Jacob and Esau, man. And now that you're ruling the world, as it says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You're totally destroying the fact that the world, you're destroying the information that the Lord put on the earth to solidify that we are the people of the Most High, man. That's what's being hidden. And that's why we're in the state we're in. And that's why nobody believes anything, any of the words we say. Because ultimately, we're still suffering the curses, but, you know, as it says in the scriptures, you're still further in that. You know, the other nations know we are who we are. And if we prove it to them, they'll be like, you know, it makes sense. But you white people, you know that it makes sense, but you're so wicked as you were created to be that you don't want to have the world believe that anymore, man. You know? What does it say? Race it in the scriptures?
Nah.
You know? You want to completely destroy the whole thought of our people off the earth, man. And that's why you continue to push the fact that we proclaim that some of these men, these great men amongst the Greeks and wherever we were scattered to, were Israelites. You try to destroy that fact, man. And that's you trying to get rid of our name, man, on this earth.
Hey,
you know?
If this world had like 1,000 years more, which it doesn't, you know, they will make Michael Jordan white.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then when an Israelite, when a Jake would like to say, oh no, he was actually black, and we'll make a movie about Michael Jordan being black, you're gonna have white people do the same shit. Oh, now they're blackwashing history. Michael Jordan was definitely a white man. He wasn't
Yep.
black.
It's the same. Yep.
It's, you know.
But hey, you know, when it comes down to actual facts and stuff, there's not gonna be Edomite who's gonna be able to dunk from the free throw line, though. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, somebody, if you're trying to say Michael Jordan is a so-called white man, then somewhere down in that white line that you're trying to claim, you know what I'm saying? Somebody in his family should be able to do the same thing, but it won't happen. Because Michael Jordan was dark skinned, man.
Exactly, man. The blessing was given to Jacob, all right, and his descendants, his children, all right, his child, his 12 sons. The children of those people are on the planet still, man. Those are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And the only reason that you have the earth believing that you're the so-called, you know, the so-called that you're the real Jews, which you are not. You know, the whole reason behind that is because the person that rules the earth, they get to control the history, man, and it's obviously you so-called white people in the power seat, man. That's a big part of the reason you can do this with the history. You can play and tamper with the history, man. Because otherwise, you know, the history will be what it is, which will be us being shown to be the people that are the vessel of honor, man. You know. You can sense that, man. The heathen nations outside of you Edomites, man, they can sense who's the vessel of honor, man. You know, like there was instances where I think you were saying a brother was telling me that when we were in Vietnam, you know, the Vietnamese soldiers told Jake or so-called Negroes that this is not your war, man. And they had mercy upon Jake then. But it's still coon ass niggas that wants to still run out there and, you know, fight for America. You know, I'm not trying to hear that. Of course, they got judged.
Just like you had coon ass niggas back then.
Exactly.
That did things for the so-called white man.
Yep.
You know, it's the same thing, man. It's the same. You know, like they say, history repeats itself.
Yeah, nothing new under the sun.
You know, there's nothing new under the sun. You know, but you know, I believe we prove our point. You know, there was Israelites in those times. You know, and we showed you how it all started. You know, and it only got worse from there. You know, Jake only kept getting deeper into those customs.
Yep.
You know,
and if I may add, you know, another thing was that every time, you know, because the scripture says, you know, it's Rock 21, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. You know what I'm saying? So we always went through like a spiritual battle and stuff, but every time Jake would follow the ways of the heathen, they'll never have to go through no shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything was tangible. They could just grab it. You know what I'm saying? They mind being blinded and stuff, you know? And that's another reason why Jake was just so easy to just go to fall the ways of the heathen, because all they had to do was just work for something and they could just grab it. You know, they didn't have to do no suffering. You know,
Because they were going after the lust of their flesh.
exactly.
And the custom of the Greeks is nothing but that. You know, it's all about lust of the flesh. So hey, we Jake like that, you know. You know, and I mean, there's other points. You know, we could hit, but you know, this is the route we took. You know, the other brothers did videos on this the same way, and they took different routes. You know, and they all prove that we were in it. We were amongst those Edomites that call themselves Greeks. You know. Oh, we're gonna. I'm gonna end with this one.
Because when it comes down to the mystery of the Gentiles, man, Paul in Romans 11 and the first chapter, you know, the first verse, he says that I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go to the verse 13, you know what I'm saying? He says that he's apostle of the Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? But he always, for the Israelites that he's coming to pronounce the name Yahweh Shem Yahshua and give them the understanding of who they really were. You know what I'm saying? All of them were Israelites, which is Hellenists. You know what I'm saying? They was Israelites, but was called themselves Greeks, man. You know what I'm saying? You know? And, you know, that was part of the mystery, man. You know? But the only ones who can get it are Israelites, man. You know?
That's right.
All right, we're gonna end it with this. Hey, cause another thing, we was kings, you know, and we still are. We're kings that basically they fell down, and now what? Now we're rising up again. You know, now we're getting that royal like mentality. You know, hey, our through our blood is nothing but royalty, man. Our blood runs with royalty. You know, we're a royal people. This is Revelations 5 and 10, and had made us unto our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. You know. So, well, we're not just saying it just to say it. You know, we are kings. You know. The world was made for our sakes. You know, Greeks. We're not Greeks, but our people were taking those customs, and they were in the midst. You know, same thing in the Rome, the Roman era. You know,
Same thing today.
Was it
Still kings.
in the Dark Ages? Why do you think it was called Dark Ages? You know? And that's just some of our great history. You know? But, just like the white man, we don't expect you to take heed to this. You know, but we're doing it for those who have an itching ear, who really want to listen. You know? Hey, and with that, you know, hopefully you brothers were edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh. You know, we're going to end it by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yeshua that rule well. And salutations to you Akim that are out there in the highways and the byways, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom. Ball.
Ball.